Hello and welcome to the Total Faith Show. I am Cynthia Bellinger, your host. Every week I greet you onto your computer screens, your television screens, your iPhones, iPads, smartphones, in your living rooms, your bedrooms. Listen, I am so grateful that I'm able to be with you, and thank you for sharing your time with me today. Total Faith Show, as you know, is the flagship show for Total Faith Network. And Total Faith Network, we serve to you lifestyle, entertainment, and information programs. And all of our programs are to inspire you, to educate, challenge you, and as I always say, most importantly, it is to empower you, our Total Faith viewers. And with that said, I have someone in the studio with me who is my mentor, and I say that publicly. I've been knowing Krystol Cameron for more than 15 years. It all started when I met him at a entertainment workshop. He was one of the panelists, and from the very time he spoke and talked about intellectual properties, the internet, and what was going to happen in the future, I knew I needed to know him. And with that said, I introduce to you Krystol Cameron, the CEO of Simply Me.
First of all, I want to thank you for having me on the show.
Krystol, you're so humble, and I'm so honored to have you here. You are my
Here.
mentor. I'm your protege. I'm going to be like you.
No, you already are and better. That's the focus.
Krystol, I want my audience to just know, because what I've embarked upon and what I've embarked on and what I continue to move forward in and evolve in with television, entertainment, media, educating. When I met you, I was at it was a network event, entertainment. I don't remember exactly if it was Sony or what venue it was, but you were one of the several panelists, and there were other celebrities that were on this panel. And I remember your position. You were sitting at the end. I remember, because as soon as it was over, I beelined to get over there to you, because you was talking about some good stuff as you was transitioning into the intellectual side and properties of the internet, because you were doing.
That's right.
Please talk about.
That's right.
You remember that?
Yeah, that was the Harry Fox agency, as a matter of fact, and they did have some pretty eminent people that was there, and we were actually talking about the entertainment business, intellectual property, and the effect it would actually have, not only on the business but on people's lives as a whole. So yes, I do remember that, and I do remember seeing you there for the first time.
Yeah, I remember, Krystol, like it was yesterday.
Really cool.
And I made a beeline. I came over there, I introduced myself, and I said, I really want to know more. You were so kind, just like you are.
Thank you.
You were so kind, so gracious. You gave me a card, and I just stayed in touch with you from there. And you taught me everything I knew and even know about the internet and how it was translating and
making that transition.
Making that transition. So now let's talk about a little bit about your background. I know you're MIT graduate, or am I right? Because I know I've done some of my research too. But talk about some of your background.
My background basically started in the technology side of the business. Pretty much as a kid, just developing all kinds of technologies and things of nature. I was a senior system design engineer for IBM, and at that time I was actually 16 years of age, working on disk drives and things of nature. I also did some work for Apple Computer in Cupertino, California, and then later on started my own business in the computer technologies, system design sector. And then later on, I knew I had a knack for music, so I got into it, producing recording artists, managing recording artists, and then I found myself running my own label, which was distributed by Polygram at the time. I actually got a pre-Grammy for my work, and then later on I started shooting commercials, music videos, and then we shot our first feature called Miracle Cures, and we actually got an Emmy for that, for Best Directed Television Special. Beyond that point, I found myself getting more into figuring out a way to envelop media technology and then this thing called the web back in 1995. And then that slowly evolved into us coming out with the first online interactive television network. At the time it was called FEGI TV.
I remember.
Yeah, and then from FEGI TV we renamed the company, we called it SimplyTV, because the French FEG stand for simple. So we said, well, why not just call it Simply? And we did. And then the television we brought behind it. And then that of course transitioned from the internet, and then we started working with mobile technologies. That took us into Japan and a bunch of other places around the planet, where we found ourselves doing agreements with corporations, whether in the media or technology sectors. And then as a result of that, it just quickly grew, and we found ourselves doing a lot of work for Dish Network, which is EchoStar Communications. That of course grew from working in their set-top box side to being able to have our first 2 broadcast channels, which later on we developed them into more of a VOD situation. And then from that point we decided to change the name of the corporation to Simply Me, because we wanted to personalize the whole objective and allowing consumers to see themselves, in the light of being able to customize what it was they were looking for, whether it was TV shows, whether it was distance learning, movies, DIY types of content, or anything that really would actually help them to further inspire what it is they needed to do in life or wanted to move forward in as a result. So we decided to do that. As a result of that, we wound up with more than about 15,000 hours of media, 106 video content providers. The channels we had with Dish, that migrated. We recently signed a deal with Comcast, Time Warner. We have a deal now with Charter Communications. NBC, we have a deal with, as well as ABC LiveWell. So now this brand, which began as FEGI TV, now to Simply Me, has now migrated and has grown to sort of a national objective to allow the independent content provider to come in and pick from a suite of platforms to be able to be distributed against. And then we work with them on the marketing and advertising side to sort of create that return on investment based upon what they put into what it is they developed as a result.
Sure. Now, you said so much. I understand. Someone that may be watching might say, wow, that's deep. I don't understand what he said. But I want to just go back for a minute because, number one, what you said that was key to me is about the independent, right?
That's correct.
Because, this format, this platform that you have is geared to help independents who might not otherwise have an opportunity, because it takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of money.
It does. If you look at it, there's 2 areas you can look at. You can actually take the Oprah route, which costs her more than $325 million on the broadcast side, or you can go the video on demand route and really build your business brick by brick. And what I mean by that is that Discovery, for instance, did a deal with their own network. What Oprah didn't know, she might know television, but she does not know distribution, nor do her peers. So what happens in this business is that if you look at it from the perspective of 24 hours, it's very competitive in the broadcast arena. So if you're looking at it from the perspective of best of breed programming, best of breed advertising, things of that nature, you have to create a return on investment that makes sense. Unfortunately, she could not get it there. So that didn't quite fit for her for a time. She lost more than $325 million, not her personally, but more so her investors that invested in her objective. For the laid content provider that's looking to get into the broadcast business, you got to crawl before you walk.
Thank you.
So what you have to do is get into something that's going to allow you to look at every household as being 24 hours. So this way you're not competing against a broadcast arena of things that are out there, that you haven't built a brand against. So in order to build your brand first, you have to start small. So what we do is we tell people, you can start, say for instance, with Dish Network, video on demand. It doesn't cost much to get in, to get involved. And then as you start building your presence, both with Dish and online, through viral communications. As a result of that, advertisers then start to see you.
Sure.
And then they start to help you build your brand based upon the monies that they like to put behind you for the audience that you have.
Because of the world we live in, this high technology, era.
Yep.
When we come back from this break, I want you to talk about the technological era in which we live and how vicious it is.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, definitely.
I want you, because
definitely.
people need to know, because it's important that we educate our people.
It's important, extremely.
It's extremely important because people, they don't get it. They don't got it. And that's why Total Faith Network and what we stand for is to really educate people. Inspire them, yes.
Yep.
Educate them, yes. But we need to get people to see that it's time to get up.
Yeah.
And it's time to stir up that entrepreneurial spirit that's within you and make a difference, because the economy has failed us, the systems has failed us, so now we need to become part of the solution.
I agree. I totally agree. Business is about doing, not talking. So
doing, not talking. You heard it from Krystol Cameron. Doing, not talking. We'll be right back after this quick break. Now,
you are quick. You are quick.
Let's talk about the technological era, because I had a show recently and I was talking about technology era. I was talking about, hey, get in touch with me, Total Faith Network. We'll show you how to do live video stream. We'll show you how to do video email marketing. We'll show you how to use video and digital technology to merge video and the technology and merge it, and you can become a force to be reckoned with, because video's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
And the internet is here to stay. And I did a show based on that, getting people interested, letting them know, listen, you got to start somewhere, especially if you have a business, you have a ministry, you have a church, you have an event or a conference or a convention, whatever you might have. You want to get it out there. And if you're not on the internet, then how are you really getting it out there? Because of the time that we live. So let's talk about technology.
No problem. On the technological side of things, one thing that we've seen in the past, with streaming technologies and things of nature, years ago, there was all kinds of hardware to be able to stream something live. That has gone now to such a nascent point now where, you can actually have something out of the box for a little under a couple $100. So it's almost, on the live side of things, when you look at regular broadcast television and you look at something that's live over the internet, comparatively speaking, there isn't much of a difference these days.
And you knew that way back then. You was talking about this.
Yeah.
You were so...
we tried to show the world, just based upon video compression technologies that we're developing back then, that, it was possible through fractal, it's called fractal compression. We had developed technologies back then which allowed people to see video on the internet. And then from a live side, it was actually able to even see it over mobile phones. And we did that actually back in the year 2000, where people can actually see live feeds, live television feeds over their mobile phones. Of course, a lot of folks didn't think it can actually be done, but we actually did it as a result. So now that comes to where we are right now, as far as the technology is concerned, it's not impossible now to get these types of things. It's actually very possible to do it. What I tell people is all about the marketing now. You got to know how to market your brand and market it in such a way from a viral perspective that people, number one, understand what you're doing, they get the message, and if they're interested, they'll jump on board. So it's all about the presentation and the value that you bring to it as a result.
Now, because you're my mentor, I'm learning so much, and I've always learned so much from you, because now that TFN has expanded its borders. We don't only cablecast anymore. We also webcast, telecast. But now with the video on demand, or the on demand with Dish TV, my hope or my prayer is that I will be able to bring some, independents that, they have a passion for videography, cinematography, documentaries, sitcoms, reality shows. That's my hope, to introduce the Total Faith viewers and those who watch Total Faith Show to see how they can become a part of this new movement that TFN is all about, and being able to be presented. As you said, you got to crawl first before
Yeah,
you walk, and
definitely.
before you run, you got to walk first. You
Exactly.
got to, it's like a
Exactly.
child. So with that said, Dish TV on demand, you know, how does that, can you
No
explain how that
problem.
works so
Not a
my
problem.
viewers will understand when they get ready to watch TFN, they'll see us
Not a
on a
problem.
whole nother, what
Not
is
a
that,
problem.
national?
It's national, first of all. Dish Network's footprint is about 14.3 million homes nationally. Last but not least, through their set-top boxes, they're able to get you on demand. We'll be able to get TFN on demand next month, starting. So what that means is that when a consumer goes with their remote control, they hold the remote control, they hit the DVR button on the remote control. We have two channels. They can go to either channel 2 or 3. If they go to channel 3, then they'll be able to get your programming. So they just scroll down, they see TFN, they click it, and they start watching your programming as a result. On channel 2, it's pretty much designated for pay-per-view, so if you're
Oh,
doing special events or anything like
sure.
that, people can actually go in and get those pay-per-view types of events. But for TFN, you
Yes.
are able to get it on channel 3. So you hit the DVR on your remote control, you go to channel 3, you
Hmm.
scroll down, hit TFN, and you're there as a result.
That is so powerful.
Hmm.
We are so excited about this expansion. You know, God is truly showing the vision that He gave to me, that it is actually coming to pass. And we're starting here. We're
Yep,
starting on the
of
ground
course.
level. And you know, for those of you who might be watching, let me just first just say something to you specifically while I have my mentor Krystol here in the studio with me. I just want to let you know that this opportunity, there's opportunities beyond you, beyond what you can imagine. And the thing about it is everybody wins. Nobody gets left out. But the important thing is you got to have a passion. You have to have a passion for what you're doing. If you're a young adult, a youth, an elderly person, or an adult, if you have a passion for media, if you have a passion for production, if you have a passion, perhaps you want to write books. Those books can turn into movies. Those books can turn into series, television series. Think about it. You know, suppose you like to draw. You see the logo here? Do you see the logo of TFN? There was a talented young man, Krystol, who created this, you know, this whole logo for us, for TFN.
Fantastic.
He's an illustrator, graduate from Pratt. You know, awesome. He's the one that did the website. The point that I'm making is our young people are creative. Our young adults, people are creative.
Yep,
And it's
for
time
sure.
that we channel that creativity into media, into production, so we can start bringing a visual, because that's what people are, visual
That's for
people.
sure.
And right now, the way times are, media, the media that we now are seeing on television, in terms of the media of television and what we're seeing on television, the subliminal messages, the immorality, all the things that are negative, I'm saying no. TFN is saying no, 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 no. We want to make a difference. We want to impact lives, and we can do it. And we can do it starting grassroots, doing what we're doing, connecting with you at, you know, at Simply Me. And the bottom line is making it available to others. So with that said, I want you to also just talk about how, if someone wanted to get more information on how they could
No problem.
contact you, okay? Because again, it is all about helping one another. You're my mentor, so I know I'm following your lead.
Not a
And
problem.
you this is how things grow.
Not a
Am I
problem.
right?
It
So
is.
just tell them how to, your website
Okay.
and how anyone can contact you.
Not a problem. What people can do, as a matter of fact, they can actually go to Simply Me Corp. That's www.simplymecorp.com. The phone number for our company is 800-240-1197, and my extension is extension 2. Again, it's Simply Me, which is SimplyMe Corp, CORP.com, to get further information and things of that nature.
It's awesome. I'm excited. As we're building the network, my son, Marshane Winfield,
Hmm.
who's the COO, the Chief Operating Officer, as well as the Senior Creative Director for TFN, he is really, he's pulling together an awesome team of young, vibrant
Fantastic.
entrepreneurs who are
Fantastic.
videographers, cinematographers. I mean, they love this thing. They ready to do it any day, all day. And I'm talking about empowering people, creating
That's what it's all
programs
about.
that's going to empower people, the viewers, and that's what TFN is all about.
important.
Is there anything that you might want to convey to anyone that might be watching in regard to the technology, not to be intimidated by it, if there's any concerns that you think someone might have about internet, because some people don't have computers,
Yeah.
but there's a library,
That's for sure.
so there's no excuses.
Exactly, none whatsoever.
Right?
And I think for the most part, for anybody that's really interested in learning more about how to get direction in their lives, because the internet
Yes.
is full of all kinds of things.
Of course.
And so what you don't want to get involved in are things that is going to actually take you in the wrong direction. You want to go in the right direction. And I think the right things really calls for things that's going to allow you to grow
Yes.
as an individual, as a parent, as a
Yes.
young man, as a young woman, in directions that's going to actually make sense to allow other people to see your example being positive, to grow as well with you. So I think as far as the internet is concerned, we have to look at it from that objective, be able to focus on things that's going to actually allow us to grow in those particular ways. And I think TFN is an excellent start to that.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Krystol. Because people think the internet. Some people say, "Oh, it's the devil's workshop," and you got this, yeah. But there's pros and cons to everything. It is what you make it.
as well.
And Total Faith Network, and we're not a religious network. I want to let everybody know. Don't give us that stigma, please. But we are Total Faith Network because faith crosses all boundaries.
Yes.
You got to have faith in something.
That's for sure.
So you have to have faith to believe in what you're passionate about.
Yep.
And that's when you want to get in touch with Total Faith Network.
Exactly.
And then we can take that energy, we can make that
right
synergy,
direction.
right?
Exactly.
Into the right direction.
Exactly.
And with, of course, my mentor, Krystol, who's going to
Thank you.
keep guiding me on this media path, because I don't want to make the mistakes other people have made before me. I don't have to.
No.
Because
won't.
they've already paved the way.
Right.
I want to reap behind the reaper
Exactly.
now.
Exactly.
Huh? I'm gleaning.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about. And there's so much to glean from as a result of that. So
That's what I'm doing, Krystol. Well, listen, I'm not going to get biblical on you, but I just want to share. I had saw T.D. Jakes, and he was talking about pursuing your purpose. He has this new book or whatever, and I'm not plugging him. I'm just talking about my experience. Yep. And he talks about a part about gleaning behind the reaper, or coming behind those that are already paved the path. So I don't have to recreate.
Yep.
All I got to do is just follow behind you.
Yeah, and that's what wisdom is all about. Wisdom is the application of knowledge. So you can have knowledge about something, but if you don't have an experience in it, then you may or may not make wise decisions moving forward. So you're applying wisdom as a result behind those who've already done it. And that's
exactly.
Good. That's a good thing.
So I'm honored that we were able to reconnect.
Likewise.
And now Dish TV, here we come.
For sure.
TFN, Total Faith Network, and
sure.
we are building an awesome new team of developers, and marketers and people that are going to really, horn in. And I'm happy that this is the right season.
For sure.
This is the right time.
Sure.
So we're coming in at a good time, and we're about to launch. So get ready. TFN is about to launch. Now, before we close out this segment, I want to take a quick break, and then we're going to come right back, and I want you to have any final words.
No problem.
This is Cynthia Bellinger. I am still the host of Total Faith Network, and we're going to be right back after this short announcement. And my mentor, Krystol Cameron, who is the CEO of Simply Me, he's going to have final remarks and words. Stay tuned.
Fantastic.
Okay, Krystol.
Right.
Talk into this camera, Krystol.
No
Please
problem.
talk to the people who might be watching. Touch somebody.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to thank anybody who's out there that has had a chance to watch this show. I want to thank you. I'm honored to have had the opportunity to sit with Ms. Bellinger, to speak with her in regards to our initiatives as a corporation and moving forward and how it can actually help you as well as others basically improve their lives. My whole focus, of course, is being able to educate people through technology and be able to inspire them I'll do things that's actually going to help them objectively speaking, because there's a lot of negative influences out there. But from a positive perspective, if we all work together, we all can grow together as a result. Because I don't believe in one-sided deals or one-sided
Talk about
contracts.
that.
It's all about your side, our side, and making all sides work as a result of that. So again, thank you for listening, and
Watching.
TFN is where it's at. Yeah, listening, watching. It's all sort of the same. You can turn your back and you can still listen.
That's
that we're
right.
here.
That's right. That's right.
But from a watching perspective, hopefully I'm not too hard on the eyes. But I thank you so much for watching, and we hope to talk to you guys sometime.
Build relationships. Hey, listen, relationship marketing is a good thing.
Exactly.
Branding is a good thing, and that's what we're doing. TFN, we're branding. Simply Me, we're branding. We're in this together. Alliances.
Exactly.
It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about us.
Yep.
It's about we.
Exactly.
Everybody wins.
Exactly.
Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
For sure.
So with that said, I thank you so much.
And thank you for having me.
No,
again.
thank you for coming. Taking time.
Anytime, sis.
Okay, and again, this is Cynthia Bellinger. I am, of course, the host of the Total Faith Show, and I am looking forward to the expansion of Total Faith Network and going into 50, how many millions of homes, you said?
Right now, we're actually at about 174 million homes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, with all of our distribution aspects. And
wow.
With the dish side, what you have is 14 plus million.
You heard it from the CEO of Simply Me. 140 million households.
Yeah, plus.
Now, God is on the move, and I'm grateful. And as we always say, at Total Faith Network, and Total Faith Show is the flagship show, and we're welcoming new content providers. So if you're interested, go to TotalFaithNetwork.com, contact us form, fill it out, get your request in, and someone will get back in touch with you. And as I always sign off, we at Total Faith walk in total faith. I'm Cynthia Bellinger, your host of the Total Faith Show. Take care.